what everybody's going to do is they're all going to introduce themselves very quickly, and then we're going to end with you, and they're going to
Okay.
choose each other as we go, and then you take it from there. And if you have something that you wanted to lead to share with,
Hmm.
that's great. I know they have lots of questions. That's great.
Great.
So I
Perfect.
turn it over to you.
Okay. Sounds good. Anything that that you want to ask me about is totally fine. There's no like questions that I won't answer. And I love talking to young people who are, considering going into film as a profession or who are already working in film, especially if you all have your phones, and hopefully you realize that you can just make whatever you want to on your phone. You don't need a really expensive camera. So whatever you all want to talk about is what I want to talk about.
What was your most difficult obstacle filming, and how did you overcome it?
The most difficult option that I faced filming was when my mother died, and figuring out how to shoot her death in the ICU when, as she was in a coma. Because it would have been an incomplete ending to her storyline, both as a character in the film, but also as a person in my life, if the reality of what happened to her weren't included in the movie.
When making the film, did the vision for it change as you were in the process of filming?
Absolutely. Um, I conceived of Strong Island as a film where my mother was the main character. And I hadn't shot a single interview with myself for 5 years. And then my mother passed away, and I realized that the job of the primary storyteller in the film fell to me. And so after my main character, I mean, and it's just like it's horrible. Like what are you gonna do when the main character in your film dies? If it's a film about your family, then the choice that I had to make was whether or not I was going to step into that role and take over the job that she had been doing. And I did so really reluctantly.
I heard you refer to yourself as a character earlier.
I refer to myself as a character because of the contributions that my character makes to the story arc, and it's way easier to talk about your character than it is to talk about me, right? So it's just, it's a way around the awkwardness of saying me, 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 or when you happen to be in your own film. Um, but it also is an outcome of the way in which I had to step outside of myself as Yancey Ford and step into my role as director when we were in post-production, right? So when we were cutting the film, we would never say Yancey. We would always say the character Yancey, because otherwise you've got two Yanceys in one space, and you can't quite, make the difficult decisions about the Yancey on screen if the Yancey in the room hasn't established a separation between the two. Right. And so that just helped everyone, myself included, be able to think about the person on the screen as a character, like everyone else in the film was a character. And so difficult decisions that got made in the edit were easier because we had made that separation. It was really just like it was a function of necessity, and it sort of stuck with me.
So Yancy, whatever you'd like to say to our audience on the 17th.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Here I go. 5, 4, 3, 2. I want to thank Kathy Cato, Queen's World Executive Director, and Donald Preston Cato, Queen's World Artistic Director, for bestowing me with the Spirit of Queens Award. I'm terribly sorry I can't be with you at the Museum of the Moving Image today, but I want to salute the Queens World Film Festival for being such a stellar opportunity for filmmakers to share their work with eager and excited audiences every year. The festival is a star in the arts and cultural landscape, not just in Queens, but in all of New York City. I hope you enjoy the festival, and thank you again for honoring me with the Spirit of Queens Award. Take care.